Even though I was born and raised right around the corner, nothing was more exciting when I was a kid than a day at Walt Disney's original Magic Kingdom.
We're back at Disneyland.
Part of the excitement is that we lived tantalizingly super close, but we didn't get to come all the time.
Because my parents are many wonderful, great things, but one thing they aren't is rich.
Which made the other exciting thing about Disneyland as a kid even that much more exciting.
Which is that when we did get to come, we would get to pick out one souvenir each. My brother and I, usually from right over here
at the newsstand next to the park exit.
Because we weren't made of money, the rules were that we had $5 each.
It's a big decision. Disneyland's a big place. There's lots of merch inside. And so usually we wouldn't decide till we were leaving the park and passing this newsstand.
Which, much like today, had a bunch of little tiny souvenirs and little things you could take home with you. My brother would always get something practical, like they used to have little flashlights over here and pens with flashlights built in, but I, on the other hand,
would always go for a small toy, specifically
small PVC figurines like this Scrooge McDuck right here. They had all kinds of characters,
just like this, simple little guys in one little pose, but I would always get like the Mickey or the Pluto or the Goofy because I love the classic Disney cartoon characters. And after visiting Disneyland as a kid, we wanted to do nothing but play Disneyland with our toys for weeks.
Now, as you just saw, the newsstand no longer has those little PVC figurines.
And as I was rifling around my house looking for those little PVC figurines I actually did have as a kid, and I found one, I'll show it to you guys at the end.
It got me thinking, what would I buy today if I was a kid coming to the park with the same money restrictions? What is it that I'd go home with now?
And not only that, with the way inflation's been going and stuff, do they even have anything that would be $5 anymore?
I mean, $5 was certainly a lot of money to me back in the late 1980s, early 1990s. But even back then, for Disneyland, that wasn't a heck of a lot of money. A lot of things were out of my price range.
So, you know, like most of the crazy, cool plush, and I loved stuffed animals back then, called them puppets, and we would play with them just like we play with action figures or anything else. Most of those were out of my range.
And over in here in the Emporium, in like the ultimate toy section, whatever the 1990 equivalent of all the cool big play sets and ultimate toys at Disneyland were, those were all out of my price range too.
I mean, nowadays I could grab all of these cool toys, you know?
Not that I have very much money, but I've got a credit card. I can make some irresponsible decisions. But like I was saying, I had the thought last night, man, if I came down to Disneyland today
and I was promised just one souvenir and I had the same budgetary restriction,
what would I get with my $5? Only wait, it's 2024.
$5 isn't worth anything anymore. If you drop it, it's not even worth picking back up.
Wait a minute, I need that. I'm not sure we can find anything for less than $5 today, so why not change up the challenge? What's the modern equivalent of $5?
Well, I looked it up on La Googles,
and supposedly $5 in 1989 money is worth about $13 today.
But considering a $5 action figure when I was a kid
now runs you about $20 by the time you're done purchasing it at the cash register today, I'm extending the challenge to find out what we can get with $20 at Disneyland in 2024. And I'm sure there's lots of things here for sale for less than $20, but I mean specifically,
if I was a kid now, what would I take home as my one souvenir
that costs $20 or less? Now, the easy way to do this would have been to run around to all the shops on Main Street, USA. There's so much stuff there to buy. And up front, they have most of the stuff you can find back in the other lands at Disneyland. But I don't want to do it the easy way.
I want to do it the fun way.
So I'm headed into the lands, ending with the store I would have most wanted to have a shopping spree in when I was a kid.
And starting with Adventureland, my favorite land, and yet the only land
that as a kid, I don't remember getting one single souvenir from. So we're heading in deep in the jungle to see what they have to offer. Now, the main store, your one-stop shop at Adventureland these days, is the old Adventureland Bazaar. I mean, when I was little, I mostly remember the bazaar having stuff like necklaces and these wind chimes and
seashells and beads and things like that. Stuff that was not interesting to me when I was little.
And today, although they do have some great stuff in here, and I must say some of the most unusual stuff is here, not just your cookie-cutter Disney merch. I mean, you could buy an ostrich in here, a rainmaker stick, woven things,
tropical beads. None of that would interest me as a child. In fact, it really doesn't interest me now. Although I must say, I appreciate that it's here.
And anyway, it's still out of my price range. For example, Mickey and Minnie here on Safari are $24.99, $5 over budget. A lot of cool mugs and glassware and stuff that I would be interested in now, but again, over budget, and I would not have wanted this as a kid. Same thing goes for clothes. There's lots of clothes at the Disney parks today. In fact, you can even get yourself some footwear. Look at, there's Crocs.
I never wanted clothes when I was a kid, you know what I mean?
Getting a souvenir from Disneyland felt like getting a Christmas present, you know what I mean?
The last thing I would have wanted for Christmas was some clothes.
Now, they've got some pretty freaking sweet swag in here now, dude. Indiana Jones shirt and jacket and freaking action figure. Also, these crazy props from the film. I would have died to have that as a kid, but those are way over our budget. They do have kind of a rad kids pretend Indiana Jones set with a plastic machete in it, no less.
They even have a little plastic toy torch so you can play medieval dungeon with your friends. I would have driven my mom crazy going, please, I know it's over budget, but can I have some Indiana Jones stuff?
Ooh, and actually, I could get the torch. It's only $19.99.
Right on target.
When I was a kid, the main thing they sold in Adventureland that was within my budget were the plastic and rubber snakes. I'm glad to see they still have a couple of them in here. When I was little, those would mostly be found over at the old tropical import store. There were whole barrels full of, you know, rubber jiggler spiders and snakes and things like that.
Hey, and while a big snake can be surprisingly useful,
That wasn't really what I wanted from Disneyland. My dad would have probably said, you can get that at Toys R Us. This would have been cool though, dude. Look at this. Hack your brother up with a foam machete. This is only $10. That's a heck of a deal.
look at this, Allie's rocking it.
She wants to buy that thing and hack me to death with it right now. You know, pretend death.
So that's pretty cool. There are two epic Indiana Jones things I could walk away with. My brother probably would have got that torch over there. He liked all the light up stuff. I would have definitely gone for the machete.
Allie's been looking around for the same challenge, and she's found lots of little things that are a little over the budget. But surprisingly, I'm really floored by this. There are actually a couple of $20 plushies in here. They're small, but look at that. You can get Lilo, you can get Stitch. And Allie said she would have got this little clingy baby giraffe thing. Surprisingly, all these guys are only $14.99, well within the budget.
I liked giraffes when I was little.
You can also get a pressed penny over here, but basically, that's about all we found. They do have kind of the spiritual successor to the type of toys I would get, little PVC figurines, but they mostly come in these multi-packs that make them out of our price range.
But this is what I would want. This is what I would want to take one of these home now, and you're going to see many of these scattered throughout the park. Speaking of which, it's a big park.
So I guess we better move on past Adventureland. Today, Adventureland has my all-time favorite ride in it. Indiana freaking Jones, and Florida is going to be stoked when they get their version coming soon. Sadly, this was not here when I was a kid. My top ride when I was little, the one that got me pumped up, the one that really sparked up my imagination and made my brother and I play pirates with our bunk bed for weeks, was the Pirates of the Caribbean. And Pirates of the Caribbean is old school. It is the OG of the whole cliche now of exiting through the gift shop.
I mean, you don't literally exit through a gift shop.
But over here at the exit of the ride, right around the corner really, right next door to the exit is the old Pieces of 8 shop. Even today as you exit the ride, the piratey goodness pulls you in. Things have changed a lot though in the Pieces of 8. Nowadays there's a lot more modern merch on offer. You know, Pirates of the Caribbean hoodies. They do still have some pirate hats and pirate costumes. I'm pleasantly surprised to see all of that. It's a little out of our price range, but I'm glad it's still here. They've also got some really cool stuff, like a plush pirate Mickey. Allie and I both would have loved to have that as a kid. I mean, come on, Pirate Pluto. Sick Fantasmic shirt. I take back what I said about clothes. But like I said, a lot of modern stuff, like, look, Pirates of the Caribbean Battleship and stuff like that. When I was little, not only did they still have a lot of coin op machines in here, this is the last one left, this medallion machine. That is within the budget. You can get one of these coins under the flickery light.
They also have barrels full of jewels. You could fill up a little sack of jewels.
Seems like now the only jewels are all these necklaces and stuff. Although you can sort of see how things used to be in the window outside. They've got the old Pieces of 8 they used to sell in there, the jewels, the little Disney secret hidden voodoo Jack Sparrow.
But mostly inside,
The barrels full of cheap plastic stuff are gone.
I got a couple of great souvenirs that lasted me a long time from in here. One was a black rubber knife. That thing broke down over time. It got real sticky and gummy, like cheap rubber. And also some rubber shackles. They were like shackles. Again, you could play medieval dungeon at home.
But they used to also have barrels full of swords and stuff. And to my surprise, they've still got affordable, cheap plastic swords right here. Look at this. You got your long swords. You've got the old school thin plastic pirate cutlass right there. And they have these treasure boxes that are basically full of all the old stuff they would sell individually, right? The pirate coins. There's a little treasure map in there, a spyglass, a little fake compass, and the hook hand. I can't believe they still have the hook hand. There's even a little pirate hat in there. Unfortunately, this little box is about 35 bucks, so out of the price range, but it's all the little stuff I would have bought back in the day. Allie did find something within the budget though. Right here, you've got the pirate's medallion from the film. I used to wear one of these on stage as one of my necklaces, part of my accoutrement. They also have some foam swords, which I think are within the budget. That's pretty cool. Some actual branded Pirates of the Caribbean swords that are a little more hardy than the old school ones. Dude, and I'm super stoked to see they still sell the little hook hands for $9.99. I had one of these as a kid. Allie still got one now, although she got hers in an accident. We'll talk about that later. Gosh, they've got eye patches, and look at this, they still have the old school metal keys. I always wanted those, never got them. But look at this, Allie is the queen. There is a little multi-pack. Look at this, it's got Mickey on it, it's got the little hook hand, you've got a little tiny version of the sword and compass, spyglass, and eye patch. This is right on the money. $19.99. You can still rig yourself out as a pirate within the budget. This is going to be a way harder challenge than I thought because Disneyland is a big place with a lot of stores, and I'm finding way more than I was expecting. I didn't think you'd find anything for under 20 bucks. And look at this. This is what I would have wanted. Look at the little PVC figurines, exactly right on the money, what I used to like. This like little play set is a little bit beyond our budget, but they do have this, a little pullback, wind up vehicle over here with Mickey on it. This is only $12.99. I would have gone nuts for this as a kid. Pirate Mickey, this is 100% what I would buy. If the challenge ended now, this would be on my list because this is kind of like the PVC figure. I could have played with this. I could have played Pirates with it or played Disneyland with it. Of course, I'd way rather have this. I want this right now. Look at that, Allie. You know you would have gone insane for that.
It's so cool. Look at the little characters in the front, too.
Dude, it's loaded with little figurines. Oh, that is a bargain. Fun fact about Allie. Allie was obsessed with pirates as a kid. She wanted to grow up to be a pirate. Instead, she just growed up to marry one. Growed up. That's grammar. Unfortunately, the set is 60 bucks, so the pirate ship I would lead with is the little Mickey ride vehicle pirate ship. I really appreciate that they made this. This is so cool. This is the perfect little souvenir. Moving on across the hallway, they also have a sort of Haunted Mansion themed store. Unfortunately, all the Haunted Mansion stuff is mostly geared at adults now, which kind of makes sense. When I was a kid, pirates would have me playing pirates forever. Haunted Mansion, I was just afraid of. I was just hoping no hitchhiking ghost would come home with me. So, you know, they got dresses, mini ears, they've got Crocs, more Crocs. Remember when Crocs were those weird shoes from Idiocracy? Everything else in Idiocracy came true. Why not Crocs? But they do have some rad Haunted Mansion toys in here. Look at these Super 7 Haunted Mansion Holiday 2-packs. They've got Jack Skellington in there. There's Oogie Boogie. There's Sally. They're in 2-packs, but how much are they, Allie? $50? 50 bucks. That is out of the price range. Oh, it's kind of bumming out for childhood version of me. I mean, they've got plushes over there in the back corner. They do have these little PVC multi-packs. I would have died for those. Those are awesome. They have a bunch of plush characters, which are awesome and just over the budget. I might have been able to talk my mom into one of those Jack Skellingtons. That thing is awesome. Oh, it's just barely over. Only $26.99. All the rest of these are like 25 bucks, so still out of the range. So I was getting bummed. Like, would anything fit the challenge? I just want to play Haunted Mansion at home. Luckily, right over in front of the cash register, they have these little tiny Doom Buggy toys. It's the same type of thing. Like, you can pull it back. It's on little wheels. It's got the 3 hitchhiking ghosts inside. That's probably what I would have walked away with. $12.99, so that's actually the modern equivalent of $5. It's right on the money. Look at this. It even has a little action feature. There's lots of cool stuff in here for the grown-up me with a credit card. But kid me would have walked away with the little Doom Buggy toy, and I would have played with that thing until the wheels fell off. Dude, they're kind of crushing it with those little ride vehicle toys. Thank you, Disney. I'm actually genuinely glad they have those. Because undoubtedly, there's still lots of kids that came here, like I did, with very little money. You know, we weren't allowed to spend too much. Did you get to get a souvenir when you came to Disneyland?
Yeah, we were given $100 each.
Oh, what? I never saw a $100 bill in my life until I got one for my 15th birthday from my Nana. Thanks, Nana. In order to get a Disneyland pass. And that was like the ultimate big present. That was as big of a deal as getting my first car. I would have thought you were a rich kid. I mean, I know $100 is really nothing at Disneyland once you get snacks and little mini ears and things, but I would have been like, oh my gosh, she's rich. Now the rest of the shops in New Orleans Square are a little bit fancier, you know, full of fancy objects I still can't afford. I got some friends who could probably shop on Royal Street, but not me. I mean, you could get a jar of Creole seasoning or some fancy schmancy perfume.
Smells like Allie's closet. Obviously, with all the construction going on over here in New Orleans Square, things are a little topsy-turvy. We're getting a new gift shop over here pretty soon. There are still a couple of stores open in Critter Country that we might as well go over and take a look at. Well, I was going to say there was the old former Indian trading post in Briar Patch that appears to be closed at the moment. But in the way back, beyond the entrance to the Winnie the Pooh ride, in fact, right next to the exit, the old mile-long bar and Teddy Barra's swinging arcade these days has got a lot of souvenirs, most of which are out of our price range. But hold on, they've also got the Disney Nemos. What are they called? Nuimos, Nemos, Nimos. I've been told 100 times and I've mispronounced it 100 times. And these are 20 bucks, right on the money. That right there that you're holding, Allie, that would have been probably my #1 pick so far. Put that on the list. There's a couple of other little plushes over here. So like the Winnie the Pooh with his hands sewn together, he's only 15 bucks. They've got Chip and Dale, but they're 40 bucks for some reason. And Grogu, little cute magnetic sit on your shoulder baby Yoda over here, is actually 30 bucks. Sorry, Allie, outside the price range. But dude, these are perfect. Allie loved plush when she was little. I loved plush when I was little. I still like them. And you can't go wrong with Mickey Mouse. If you have little kids, you're on a tight budget, you're looking for a $20 souvenir, this might be it, dude. This thing's kind of fun, too. Obviously, there's all kinds of snacks and treats which are under 20 bucks. I'm not really counting food in this. I tried so hard not to blow my budget on candy when I was little. For those wondering, the bubble refills are in the budget, but the light-up bubble makers are not. Uh-oh, we should not have come in here. Had to keep Allie away from these spooky treats. Oh, no. I thought I lost her for a second. What if I put on a treat? You gotta save the budget for a toy. Speaking of which, from this point in modern Disneyland, most people would hang a left up here and they would head into Galaxy's Edge, into the new Star Wars land. I'm not even gonna count that, but we will get on to Star Wars later. Star Wars land souvenirs would have to be their own separate chronicle. And let's not forget, it did not exist when I was a kid. It didn't even exist when I, turned 21. Fun pick! So we're gonna head back across the park to some more lands. But first we gotta check out if Frontierland has anything, and I'm gonna try to pick up the pace because, like I said, I'm finding way more stuff than I thought I would. All right, they've got great stuff in here, lots of fun toys over the budget, a wonderful, fun selection of Crocs. Actually, have a really cute kids backpack, and further on in, obviously, they've got a bunch of great Halloween stuff out here right now, including Crocs. Who would have thought? Oops. They've got some rad plush that's pretty close. This is only 25 bucks, which is honestly a steal. I'm pleasantly surprised by that. Surprisingly, nothing under the budget. Nothing we haven't seen before. No little big thunder toy, no little ride vehicles. A couple of little Coco items, but above the budget, so we're moving on. And it looks like they're setting up for fireworks out in the hub, so we're gonna take the sneaky side way into Fantasyland and see what we can find. First up, there's a little store in here just underneath the castle. Looks like it's closed at the moment, the Enchanted Chamber, so that's off the list. The old Tinkerbell toy shop, which back in the day was one of the best toy stores in Disneyland, is now Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Good luck finding anything under 20 bucks in there. I mean, unless this is your thing, there might be something. Definitely wouldn't have been my thing as a kid. I don't know what I would have done with that. I keep dropping things. I can't be trusted. Then you have the old Merlin's Magic Shop. They used to sell monster toys in there back in the 60s. When I was a kid, it was like a cutlery shop. They sold swords in there. I once bought some medieval scissors from in there. I still got them too. They might make an appearance soon. Today it's sort of this. I mean, they got some tees. I mean, actually, they got some pretty cool sweaters in here, but unless you are renting a tapestry from in here, there's really nothing I would have wanted as a souvenir. There's a couple little knickknacks and patty wax over in this patty wagon. They got some of those Nuimos. Is that it? But I'm more into toys. Something I could have played with like an action figure, so we're gonna keep looking. They used to have Geppetto's toy shop over here, which I will never understand why they got rid of. It's just sitting there empty. So Fantasyland's toy game is kind of weak right now. Although, hey, it's making my job easier. Okay, there is the Mad Hatter shop. It's mostly hats. Hey, but you never know. You might find never mind. Dude, there's gotta be some toys in Fantasyland, right? Here we go. This might be more our speed. This is like the old school newsstand. They got bins of little plushies. Oh, here's some fun stuff. These are only $14.99. These like keychain guys. You got Marie, you got Dumbo, Mickey. Okay, these are pretty good. You got slap bracelet. They got another batch of these things. Look at these pens. Okay, I wasn't a big pen person. My brother might have liked pens. I mean, not these pens specifically. But Allie might have liked them when she was little.
These are so cute.
Are they within the budget?
No, they're 40.
40 bucks. Hey, these like light up princess ones are a little bit closer. I like Tinkerbell, dude. Tinkerbell is old school. They got some light up toys, a little over 20. Surprisingly, the big Mickey mitts are only 25. Close, but no cigar. Unfortunately, It's a Small World is closed because they're working on opening up It's a Small World Holiday, so the gift shop is also closed next door to it. But the Fantasy Fair Gifts is still open. Kind of more of the same, a little bit out of reach. I thought that was SpongeBob for a second, but it's Chip. Plenty more of those memes. Oh, and then look at these. These are cool. They've got these little Mickey and Minnie cars. They're only $9.99. For 20 bucks, you could get both Mickey and Minnie. That's pretty cool. And they work. They got little wheels on them. And I cannot believe this. Look at that price tag. Only $12.99 for a freaking Mickey Mouse action figure. This guy's actually articulated. You can move his arms and legs. That's better than what I would have got. And this is $12.99, so it's right on the old school money. Dude, that is a tough call between this or the Nemo. I'm just gonna say Nemo. Is that cool? That is such a tough call. The Disney lightsaber, a little over the price, but still cool. We'll get to Star Wars stuff later. Whoa, there's a crazy Toontown bubble maker contraption over here. Awesome. Guessing out of the price range though. Same for all these fun little toys. We gotta stay strong, kids. Don't blow it on candy. We're gonna find stuff. We've still got hope though, because we've still got Toontown. And even though they got rid of the old Gag Factory store when they remodeled Toontown recently, they did add a new gift shop at the exit of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway that even has a little Bob Gurr tribute on it. It's the old Viewliner train. Don't worry, I'm working on an episode about that. Dude, and inside they promise miniature railroads and full-scale fun. This might be the best news store in the park if you're a kid. We're here a little too late for the toy trains to be out on the table, but there are so many rad toys in here. They've got bubble makers. They got Rubik's Cube things within the budget. Those are weird. They've got footballs within the budget. They got some toddler toys within the budget. They've got all kinds of cool play sets and RC cars based on the ride, which are awesome. Here's a set of the modern equivalent of exactly what I used to buy. These little PVC figurines. I kind of want these now. They're the wrong Mickey, but they're still cool. Tons of stuff within the budget, surprisingly. Oh my gosh, they've got a Donald Duck's Boathouse ring game. You fill that up with water and you toss the rings in the baskets. That is sick. This is what I really want though. Or maybe this. Maybe both, maybe all. Dude, that's cool. They got a plush train. They got a bunch of great merch in here. Not quite what I'm looking for. They got a little picnic basket thing. And oh my gosh, you'll never believe it. Look what they have, Allie. Crocs! And there's no price on them. I think they're free. Okay, they do have the best thing in here. I saw this first at Disney World. I didn't grab one then. I might grab one tonight. Up in the cash register line in the little bins over here. They've got these little guys with like these retractable arms. They don't have the Mickey out here. The Mickey is so good. I want the Mickey so bad. But they do have Daisy. Look at this. They got wacky waving arm flailing inflatable Pluto. He's pretty cool. He's within the budget, but so is wacky arm Daisy. Look at that. Oh my gosh, what is that? If that was Mickey, that would be our pick. We'd have to stop right there because that thing is weird, wacky, and wonderful. Just like me. All right. They got lots of other stuff like keychains, buttons, stickers, magnets, things like that that are within the budget. There's ornaments all over the place, which are cool, but they're ornaments, so I don't think they count. There was lots and lots of good stuff in there, but at the moment, it looks like that's basically it for Toontown. All right. Now we're getting close to the grand finale, the place I bought my childhood souvenir that I brought with me. Because we are now leaving Toontown, heading out beyond the Matterhorn, past the submarine lagoon, which looks beautiful at night, into the world of the future, Tomorrowland. And when I was a kid, Tomorrowland was the shiz. In fact, just like this video, we would usually save the best for last. Tomorrowland would be the last thing we do. Of course, it looked completely different when I was little. The rockets were on top of the people mover platforms. We had people movers moving around everywhere and sky buckets. It was a lot different. I am just old enough to have experienced that classic Tomorrowland, and I'm also just old enough that I was alive and around when they opened the most mind-blowing, mind-bending, high-tech ride of all time up to that point, Star Tours. Although I was not old enough to ride it, this was the most high-tech ride in the world at that point. Star Wars was still the most mind-blowing, high-tech movie of all time at that point. You got the original flight to Endor. By the time I was old enough to ride this, not only did I get to go on Star Tours, the original Star Tours, which talk about activating your imagination. It was insane. Lightspeed to Endor. But it was like a 2-for-1 because I'd pretend to fly to Endor and then go next door over to freaking Space Mountain. It was a twofer, dude. I was so stoked to get tall enough to ride those rides, and I always pretended Space Mountain was a Star Wars ride.
And so Tomorrowland was the spot where I would have wanted to have a spending spree. Unfortunately, back then it was the dark years. It was sort of the years they weren't really making Star Wars toys. But let me get back to that in 1 second. In Tomorrowland today, for one,
They've got the Winter Circle booth out over by Autopia. It didn't have anything in our budget that we haven't seen before today. They also have the Tomorrow Landing, but that's mostly just pins inside of there.
next to today's a Buzz Lightyear ride, they have this little store though that has plenty of toys inside. Let's go see if there's anything we could take home tonight.
Ooh, there are some great Pixar selections in here and some within the budget. Look at this right here. This Talking Lightning McQueen is actually in the budget. I can't even believe that. It's only $17.99. Hey, and there's Crocs. Oh, they got a Mater, same price. Dude, that's not bad.
All right, let's see, what else have they got?
Ooh, over here in one of the old rocket jets, they got a Buzz Lightyear toy. These are out of the budget, but still awesome. I still to this day don't have a Buzz Lightyear toy, and I want one. Oh my gosh, look at the selection of Woodies. That's the most Woodies I've ever seen in one place. Oh my gosh, he's $12.99. This right here, this would be something I would take home. This might be the winner. Look, he's like an action figure, but he's Woody, dude.
Oh my gosh, and they have little parachute toys. Those are within the budget. Remember in the 80s, dude, throwing those little Army Men parachute toys? Those were the best. And check this out, $12.99 for a little Buzz Lightyear guy over here.
That's exactly the kind of thing I would have wanted. Something where you're like taking the ride or the movie home with you.
More Woodies. How many Woodies can this store get inside of it?
Dude, this guy is within our budget, a budget Woody. Pixar balls, about $12.99, so 1980s, $5, right on the money. I wouldn't have bought a ball here. I have enough balls. Okay, obviously they have a bunch of rad toys in here. I think if Toy Story had come out when I was a little younger, this might be my dream shopping spree, 'cause there's some really cool stuff that I kind of want now. Look at RC and Slinky Dog. They got Rex over here, and I love this, dude. The Claw. The Claw is our master.
This, however, is within our budget. Look, Bucket O Soldiers is within the $20 range. It's full of Army Men. Remember, they did used to sell these plastic buckets in Toys R Us of all the different Army Men. Sometimes they'd have Western guys and stuff.
Come on, that was the cheapest toy there was at Toys R Us. So when I was a kid, I was well supplied with Army Men. In fact, I think I played with some of my Uncle Mike's Army Men when I was a kid. They were everywhere.
But yeah, of course they're gonna have great stuff over in a Toy Story themed area.
What I was surprised about are how many were within the budget. Those Woodies and that little Buzz guy, those are sick. Lots of plush too that are out of the budget, but I'm less bummed here than any other store.
Because these cash register lanes are full of all kinds of little fun stuff. They've got little individual cars, that's within the budget. I don't know about the Funko Pop.
They got Forky over here, some wacky pencils and stuff, some little pea pod things, keychain plushes. Dude, but mainly these. That is sick. Kind of want one of these.
I would get him.
Kind of forgot about this store. I told you I was saving the best for last. I might have spoke too soon, but when I was a kid, the last and final best thing
In the universe was to come over here to the Star Trader.
I would ride Star Tours, and I would get so pumped up on Star Wars.
Then I would ride Space Mountain and get so pumped up on Star Wars because the whole time I was pretending I was a Jedi, I was pretending I was flying around in an X-Wing, and right between the exits of both.
Not only did you have the Starcade, which was an arcade, which was awesome in the 80s,
But literally connected to the exit of Star Tours.
was the Star Trader. And even though there wasn't that much Star Wars merch back then,
This is where I got my favorite Disneyland souvenir of all time, the one I played with the most and for the longest, and is still today probably the store I'd want to have a shopping spree in, starting with that X-Wing. Oh, come on, everything's for sale for the right price.
I'd even take one of these flying saucers. These things are sick.
But look at this, in 2024, we are fully stocked with Star Wars stuff, including this freaking Captain Rex that I might literally take home with me. I told you I can make bad decisions. I have a credit card. Someone take it away. Sadly, most of this stuff, including the action figure, is not in our price range for today.
But as you can see, there is tons of Star Wars stuff now. And unlike the past few years, lately Disney has been doing a great job of bringing back Star Wars merch that the Star Wars fans that go all the way back actually enjoy.
I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of what Disney has done with the franchise, but look, they're even bringing back prequel era Star Wars merch.
And the fact that there's so much rad old school Darth Vader stuff, lightsabers galore.
It makes me want to go shopping in here now. Actually, aside from Star Wars entirely,
Look at this freaking merch. This is insane. Bob Gurr, get down to Tomorrowland. They are paying tribute to your creations. Look at the freaking people mover on the cup. They've got monorail pot holder thingies. Dude, this shirt is out of this world, and that is awesome. It's funny that they won't rebuild the good Tomorrowland, but they'll put it on a shirt.
Disney has never asked me anything. They don't care about me. They'd probably rather I was not here. They'd probably rather I was for all I know. But I could have told them, don't put a gift shop in the middle of the walkway. I could tell them how to fix Tomorrowland right now. Just put it back the way it was. Go full retro future with it.
Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here on a quest. And look at that goofy little pill. But look at this over here in these bins. They've got spaceships. They've got multiple types of Grogu. They've got wind-up droid. And both of these are within the budget.
The great part about The Mandalorian, especially season 1 when it first came out, is I went, dude, Star Wars is fun again. And it has the most fun Star Wars merch again right by the checkout counters.
That's where you get all the fun finds under $25. Dude, up by the cash register itself, they even have droid figures for only $14.99. They fit within the budget.
Dude, and all of that is in the big sort of main room that has miscellaneous Disney stuff. We haven't even gone to the actual Star Tours room. When I was a kid, the people mover would go through that shop so you could see out here. And you used to have Darth Vader and a bunch of stormtroopers up there. I'm glad they still have stormtroopers. Of course, they're first order these days, but this is where all the best stuff was when I was a kid. There were Star Tours t-shirts and hats. Oh, dude, this right here, that's a piece of sick merch. If I wasn't already wearing the coolest hat in the galaxy, which is back in stock, by the way, I'd be picking this bad boy up.
Dude, and look at this, more fun finds. We got the Star Speeder and we got the little mini Star Speeder. I think the big ones are 17, the little ones are 10. They've got more of the droid figures over here, and there's also these little mystery boxes. You can get some kind of creature for $10. Now, if you'd have had Allie's budget as a kid, you could build your own lightsaber. In fact, if you have the budget, you can go lightsaber crazy in here, and they have something they really didn't have when I was a kid, which is tons and tons of Star Wars toys, action figures, PVC guys, Star Wars accessories. I would have gone insane had these been available. They're mostly all out of our price range today on this quest, although this little Ewok setup is conveniently within the price range. Just within the price range, you can get a whole village of Ewoks.
Which is weird because when I was little, the only Star Wars toys that they had in here, the thing I went crazy for, is they had little PVC figures, much like that Scrooge McDuck I showed you, but of the droids characters. They had the droids version, C-3PO.
I think they had some of the Ewoks cartoons, little figures. I wasn't watching droids or Ewoks though at that time.
They had one other little PVC figurine, not even an action figure, but a little PVC figurine at action figure scale.
In this store, the only thing within my budget, a tiny PVC R2-D2. This one right here. I bought it in this shop as a kid.
I bought another one years later on eBay and then rediscovered my childhood one. I played with this thing constantly. It was the only Star Wars action figure you could get by like 1989.
No Luke Skywalker for me, but I did have R2-D2, and he joined all kinds of adventures with the Ninja Turtles, with Batman.
I played with this guy all the time, and I got him in this store as a kid. It was the only Star Wars merch you could get was at Disneyland. They didn't have it on the shelves at Toys R Us anymore. Not until 1995, well, 94, they came out with some Bendham figures that were kind of like this, you know, and then 95, they finally came out with new action figures, but all those other years I was growing up, the Dark Ages.
The only thing you could get that was Star Wars were like Halloween costumes from time to time, and you could get some artwork and stuff in here. Nothing like what they have today. I mean, look at this.
Look at that crazy expensive Rex and the cool Star Tours Star Speeder back there. And they have actually autographed 8x10s of some of the celebrities in here.
Hey, I know her. Hey, Ashley, look, your book's in here. That's cool.
Well, guess what? I wrote a book too. Although you can't get it in here. You can get it at randomland.com though, just like the hat.
Dude, I was so stoked. It seems like such a little deal now, but I cannot explain how Star Wars crazy. I was just as Star Wars crazy as every other kid that was born 10 years before me when the movies came out.
I just had the misfortune of not being born until basically Return of the Jedi was coming out right after I was a little infant.
And by the time I was old enough to play with Star Wars action figures, they were out of vogue. They were gone. So
this little cheesy, not even movie-based, but droids, cartoon-based, PVC R2-D2 kind of rubbery was the coolest thing. The coolest thing that I had full stop.
Oh my gosh, now you have the modern equivalent. You've got all kinds of guys. Luke Skywalker, you got Mandalorian stuff, and you got the whole village of Ewoks. There's even like little kid, like bath toy versions. They've even brought back like reissues of the original vintage figures. I mean, they're a little bit different, but pretty much dead on. You can buy them in these packages here. They have full-on remote control R2-D2 droids now. Remember, we're not even talking about the stuff in Star Wars Land. There's dark sabers and costumes and armor and masks. Actually, to be fair, when I was little, they did have like a Darth Vader mask and stuff in here. Nowhere near the quality that they have today, but this was it. This was like one of the best purchases I ever made. I kept all my other little Disney figures too, and somehow this is the only one that survived. And again, I think this is the one I would want to go crazy having a shopping spree if I could buy anything today, or if I had the Alley childhood budget. Come on.
I mean, it was 30 something years ago, but I want to say this was like $3.98 or something these when I bought them. So I pretty much blew my entire budget just on R2-D2, but he was worth it, and he's still around.
Still though, back on track, I cannot believe how much stuff there actually is here for under 25. And look, they've obviously sold a bunch of them today. These are really fun souvenirs. So even if you're on a budget, there are some cool little finds for 12 or 13 bucks, sometimes 15 bucks. Look by the cash registers. They got a bunch of fun stuff. All right,
this is going to be difficult. This is going to be excruciating because I'm going to pick one souvenir today.
And I can't believe it either, but we have seen a ton of great stuff within the budget, under 20 bucks. Now, obviously, we haven't even done Main Street USA. Main Street USA has got so much merchandise. There's tons of stuff in there. There are some plushes that are right on the borderline. There are all kinds of little knickknacks and treats and pencils and pens and stuff that would be fun for kids of all ages, autograph books, all kinds of that stuff. Not to mention more of those little ride vehicle type toys, which again, Disney, you're crushing it with those. That's awesome that you still have kind of a budget option, a toy for kids. I think more of this stuff would be great to see in the parks, but
Main Street USA has so much stuff that could be its own chronicle, just like Star Wars Land. So
we're gonna stop here at the Starcade, because this is always where I'd be at the end of the night. At midnight, we'd maybe go and do Space Mountain as a last minute thing when I was a kid. And so this is gonna be our final store, which means
Allie and I are gonna have to decide on the souvenir. What are we getting today? And here's the plot twist. We are not going to limit ourselves to one. We are going to let you decide which one is the ultimate one. We are going to get our top 3 souvenirs.
First of all, we are going to have to grab that Ewok Village. That's probably the best bargain I've seen in the entire park today. 20 bucks and you get all these little guys. Second of all, we're going to have to grab that Disney, Mickey, Nemo, whatever it's called thing, because that is freaking rad and it's right on the money as well. But I also like action figures. I love old PVC toys, so we're also going to grab that PVC toy version of Mickey Mouse. I think, for my money, these were the best 3 that we could get in the park today.
And here's the ultimate plot twist. Not only are you guys going to help me decide which one of these is the winner,
but I am going to give these 3 souvenirs away to one of you that helps me vote on which one it's going to be. So here's what you do.
I've never been a huge fan of the YouTube comment system, so go over to my Instagram, which is right here. It's Justin Scarred, 2 R's, not scared, and look for the picture of these 3 items. Make sure you're following me, and then leave a comment telling me which one you think is the ultimate souvenir, is the winner from this video.
And I am going to send out these 3 souvenirs to 3 of you who helped me vote. I'm going to pick 3 random people, and you will get the one you voted for. So it gives you more incentive to tell me which one you think is actually the most awesomest. And Allie, who packs and ships all of our orders, like my new book, my hat, all of our merch, is going to pack these up and send them right to your house. You don't even have to go through the whole process in the park of finding your souvenir. Just vote for it. And for 3 of you, we're going to send it to you. You know what? We'll do a runner-up too, and I will send you some Randomland swag as well. Stickers, pins, something like that. We'll find something, right, Allie?
So there you go. And if it goes well, who knows? Then maybe next time we go shopping out here on Main Street USA, we'll do the same thing. I'm not sure. Go over to my Instagram right now. If you're seeing this video, then the picture will be up. You tell me which of these 3 souvenirs is your favorite, which one you would have picked.
You will automatically be entered into a drawing. We'll literally put them on paper and pick them out of a hat. Seems more fair than those random comment selector things. And we'll do 3 hats for 3 prizes. Pick your name, send you a DM, send you a little Disneyland treat. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. We're pretty sore. We've been walking around a lot to like almost every store in the park, minus Main Street and Star Wars Land, which we'll get to one day. But Allie has another adventure ahead of us. I think I gotta be driving somewhere for her. It is that time of year.
Don't worry about the expense. I can't really afford it, but who better to spend my money on than my friends? You!
I think that's it, guys. We're gonna call it a night. It's time to go home and
Go comment on the souvenirs. Don't you want a souvenir?
oh, dude, there's a man on the castle. See that? How come they never let me on the castle? Only in France.
It's hard to hold a $20 bill flat. I'm trying to take one of those default pictures that YouTube people take. I'm not good at this. World's worst influencer.
Oh, Christmas Crocs, oh, Christmas Crocs. I'm not judging anybody for buying Christmas Crocs, but it's weird that they used to be so yuck, but now fetch has finally happened. I have no opinion on the Crocs. I've never worn them. They might be the best thing in the entire world. I don't actually know, but it's still weird that they used to be something people made fun of, and now everybody's wearing them, and Disney is all in on the Crocs, dude. What in the world?